Welcome back. It's Monday morning. If you're getting up and going to work, I'm sorry. This too shall pass. Let's start out with an updated build guide for my Lightning Spear Sorcerer today. Someone asked in a comment where the updated or the full guide was, and I was thinking, man, it's spread out over a few videos now, so I'm just going to do a quick updated build guide. Good morning. Like always, I log in and my stash is full. So clear this out. And the person that asked in Espanol, so I will try to use a translator and post things a few separate ways. Not sure how subtitles work for them over there, or like, when I'm streaming, like if it's creating the subtitles from my voice. Weird, so weird. Stomach's a little upset as well. Or I'm sick when I wake up in the mornings. One reason I don't work anymore. Let's see. So here is the Lightning Spear Sorcerer. So again, with a Sorcerer, numbers are a lie. So don't worry about low-ass attack power numbers. Oh, you really do only have 19,000 life. It's horrible. But we're a glass cannon. That's how we live. Alright, so this is the Lightning Spear Sorcerer glass cannon build. For the glass cannon build, we have Andariel's Visage. We focus on attack speed. And also we get a fourth element with the lucky hit from the Andariel's Visage. That fourth element adds Talrashas and gives us more damage. And the attack speed makes us throw out frozen orbs faster, which gives us more triggers, and more frozen orbs means more orbs are out there pulsing and lowering the cooldown more. You can either go for attack speed to lower cooldown, or you can just go for cooldown. I prefer going for attack speed with the extra element from Andariel's Visage. From my own testing, I have found that gives me more damage than just going with Harlequin's Crest for cooldown. Anyways, moving on to the chest piece. Also, glass cannon. I don't use Tyrael's Might. Of course, I know that I can't get hit a lot, so I got to stay on the move. Glass cannon is what this chest is all about. It's got it in the middle there. Shocking impact's nice as well. I'll get into that when we pull up the skills. It doubles our shocking impact, and it can almost triple your glass cannon. Yay! Gloves. I got Frozen Orb on mine. Since I'm using Andariel's Visage, I have armor, crit chance, and crit damage. That is your priority with Andariel's Visage. Alright, and for the temperings, you want critical strike damage, and you actually want lightning spear lucky hits. Alright, mine got bricked out. You see it's at 0 of 6 temperings. Mine got bricked out on the Ice Blade lucky hit. That's not a horrible thing, but you'll see when I'm playing that I have Ice Blades on my bar, so I'm getting used out of it. I have a lot of Ice Blades out there. But lightning spears do most of the damage, and they're faster, they make more contact and hit more. So you definitely want that on the lightning spears. Lightning spear lucky hit chance. Alright. But when you're using Harlequin's Crest gives you your armor, right? Andariel's Visage doesn't have armor, so that means your stat priority on the gloves is armor. Other than that, our stat priorities after the armor is crit chance, crit damage, crit damage, crit chance, attack speed, and whatever. Axial conduits. I use these. These give me a little bit of damage reduction because I don't have Harlequin's Crest or Tyrael's Might on. But more importantly, it keeps Chain Lightning dealing damage to bosses for me. Now, it's pretty important, especially that resource generation and maximum. This build is all about the resource generation, right? And with these pants, I have Chain Lightning going, and the more mana you have, and the more regeneration you have, the longer the Chain Lightning keep going. Now, you might be wondering how the Chain Lightning happens. It's not on my bar. It's right here. It's an enchantment. I don't have Ice Blade here. A lot of people use Ice Blades right here, but my Ice Blades is right here. I don't need Ice Blades here, right? I have Chain Lightning here. Every 100 mana I spend, Chain Lightning automatically forms. I never have to cast it. It does its own work. So just by just by casting my frozen orb, I automatically create chain lightning, and because the build's so amazing, the chain lightning will last forever. Alright, then we have our SU heirlooms. Now this is what the build's all about. I've tried replacing these with Rakanoth Wake to get a little bit more cooldown reduction, but the crit damage makes you lose a lot of damage. Alright, critical strike damage is what this build is all about. Alright, but you'll see evade grants movement speed, so that'll pick up your movement speed. But once you get your conjurations going, your conjurations increase your movement speed. Alright, because your critical strike chance increase by your movement speed. So looking right here, you can see currently I'm at 125% movement speed. When I dash, it goes to 200%, right? Alright, back to 125. So while it's at 125, my crit is at 51.5%. When I dash, it goes to 80.6%. There you go. So then likewise, just go over here real quick. Once you have your conjurations out, your conjurations will help keep your movement speed capped out, which in turn keeps your crit bumped up. In the meantime, until you get your conjurations out, you can start a fight with a dash while you're building your conjurations, or you can get the Spire and the Horde that gives you movement speed. Alright. Let's see, that being said, next we have our necklace up here. Yep. Necklace, important thing is, most important stats start at the conjuration cooldowns are reduced, conjuration mastery, and then the affix. Alright. I mean, yeah, it's helpful having non-physical damage and extra frozen orbs casting, because frozen orbs pulsing reduces your cooldown. But, like, that happens. But if you're going for greater affixes, the greater affixes you want is the one I have, and ideally the one right below it for the conjuration mastery. Alright, because you just saw the conjuration mastery itself, every stack of that increases. Every level of conjuration mastery is a percentage or 2% depending on the stat. And then whenever the frozen orbs go out, frozen orb explodes 2 additional times. That's 3 explosions per frozen orb, right? 3 explosions. If it casts twice, that's 2 orbs, making 6 explosions for a single cast. So 6 explosions equals 3 seconds. So a single cast can reduce your cooldowns of Lightning Spear and Ice Blades by 3 seconds. There you go. That's how that works. And that's why I like focusing on attack speed. I can throw a bunch out, right? And now if I feel I have enough crit chance, I can swap out this crit chance for attack speed, right? And then over here on my ring, your stat priorities are critical strike damage, critical strike chance, and attack speed. Alright, and I got the tempers you want. Mediocre rolls on the critical strike damage. And we have lightning spear cooldown, obviously, and critical strike damage. And I use the aspect for shredding blades. There's 2 aspects people choose from for vulnerable damage. They use either Storm Swell or Shredding Blades. I talk about it a lot that Storm Swell requires that you have a barrier. Shredding Blades is always active. They both give the exact same stat increase, but if you lose your barrier, the Storm Swell completely goes away. Why would you choose that before Shredding Blades? Shredding Blades is so much better. But whatever. I don't make the online guides. Well, actually, I am now. How about that? Let's see, then when I save the staff for last. Okay, so again, this build's all about critical strike damage. Yeah, on mine, I've actually found that this stat stick for max life is important for me. I am so fucking squishy. I only have 19,000 life as it is. You get rid of that 3,400 life on there, and I'm hurting even more. Alright, so that's pretty important. If you put something else there, maybe consider just damage, right? But anyways, I got intelligence, I got critical strike damage, and chance for second lightning spear. Alright, if you have a high roll and you get over 90%, that's good. If you don't have a high roll, you want at least 1 masterworking on there so you get it over 100. My goal on this tempering was getting at least 2 on critical strike damage. Speaking of which, backing up, for tempering is critical strike damage. I'm sure you've noticed crit damage, crit damage, crit damage, right? So here, I got on tempering, that's what you want. Tempering has a bigger number. Here, tempering has a bigger number. I got what I want. Here, it was not a bigger number, or it could be, but I had a lower roll, right? Ideally, you want the masterwork and crits on the temper, not the stat. You want it on the temper, right? All right, and our aspect is splintering energy. This is what the build's all about. You can switch it to one-handed weapons if you want, and you can still farm tier 7 fast, but it'll slow down tier 8 a lot because it'll cut your damage in half. Mainly because you get a lot of crit damage from the two-handed staff, and you get double the damage on the aspect. The most important thing in this build that a lot of people miss is the last sentence on that aspect. It says, this damage is increased by your critical strike damage bonus. That means if you get a critical strike, your critical strike is increased by your crit damage. But then it increases your crit damage again by your crit damage. So you get like a double dip. It's amazing. That's why it's so lethal. It does so much damage. And that is why you go crit damage, crit damage, crit damage here, and crit damage, crit damage. And obviously you want the second lightning spear casting. So that way between this and the skill tree you have 3 spears coming out. Because 3 spheres coming out means 3 conjuration stacks. Alright, so that is the gear and the aspects. All uniques. Now, this might be too squishy for you. If this is too squishy for you, you put on Harlequin's Crest. And the build plays the same. Okay? Honestly, I do more damage with Indariel's Visage, but you can throw on Harlequin's Crest, and you can still clear tier 8 perfectly fine. But now, whenever you put on Harlequin's Crest, you don't need armor on your gloves anymore. So I have a second pair of gloves that I put on. So this one, just ignore the frozen orb I have. That's just a happy accident because I got frozen orbs out there. But your stat priority on these gloves, since you don't need the armor, would be crit damage, crit chance, and attack speed. And then you see the tempers you want. You want crit damage and lightning spear lucky hit. So essentially, so I'm playing glass cannon. If I die some and I run out of revives, if I don't have any revives yet, I will just go like this and like this, right? It's that simple. Always keep your stuff favorited so you don't actually salvage it, accidentally salvage. All right, here we go. Let's see. Next, we have our skill tree. Now, skill tree, you'll have 2 points you can play with when you put on Harlequin's Crest. You can always put this frozen orb somewhere and this flame shield somewhere. I would recommend glass cannon. All right, starting at the top, we have Firebolt. This is our enchantment. It makes everything burn. When we hit something, it burns, and then we have stuff that makes us deal increased damage and take reduced damage from burning stuff. Sorry, sip of the coffee. All right, and we got Spark to advance the tree. No rhyme or reason there. Coming down here, we have Frozen Orb. We just got a point here to get the ability. We don't care about this extra stuff. We don't use Frozen Orb for damage, and we don't need it for vulnerable. We got other stuff that does that, and we got other stuff that does their damage. We mainly use it to get some chill, some freeze, but most importantly, reducing the cooldown on our conjurations whenever it pulses. That's the main reason we use it. And then we have the actual conduits. So this is from an item right here, the potent warding. We have the actual conduits for chain lightning. So I have 5 of 5 in chain lightning. I have all 5 points because I want damage. This is boss damage for me. Some people ask me how I kill the council so fucking fast. It's because of this and the actual conduits working with the lightning spear build. Then I got enhanced chain lightning, more crit chance, and increased damage for the duration because the actual conduits keep it bouncing. This makes it do a lot more damage and increases. Now, there is a version you can go for more cooldown where you're trying to get more crackling energy, and you can definitely go with this, and it works fine. You can still beat tier 8s. Let's see. Now, another thing, I have those gloves for Frozen Orb. If I go Harlequin's Crest, I can take this point and put it right there for a little more damage from Frozen Orb. All right. But I got Flame Shield here. That's my oh shit button. I got Teleport. It's mainly used just for proccing or sometimes moving from event to event inside the Horde. But I proc movement speed after teleporting because starting out, movement speed is crit for me. And it's damage reduction. I don't have a lot of damage reduction. So I kind of want to teleport as often as possible. If I'm lucky, I can do it every 4 seconds. Ice Armor. This is our main source of barrier, right? We get little barriers using cooldowns, but the amount from this is our primary source from a barrier. System I've noticed it's actually pretty cool. It gives a 56 there, but then it also gives a 30% from here, so it gives 86 at once when you use it. It's additive. Let's see, we got Ice Armor increases our mana regen. That's important for our build. And this is so important. A lot of people, they take this or they don't even use anything, right? But because this would be 15% increased damage with staggered bosses. However, this helps us maintain a lot more uptime of our barrier source. You got to keep in mind, it is the primary source of barrier. While it's active, you're constantly throwing out frozen orbs, and that gives cooldown. You know, some people talk about cooldown builds where they just only cast Lightning Spear, but a big part of this build is actually casting Frozen Orb, because you want to spend mana. Alright, so I got 1 point over here for lucky hits. If I ever stole a point, I'd steal it from here. Like right now, I'm 1 of 3 here. So like if I put on Harlequin's Crest, I could take these 2 out of there, and I could put them here and I'd be at 9 of 3. Right, that's nice. Or I could take points out of stuff and put them up in Frozen Orb. Or go put them on Ice Blades, because I got a lot of Ice Blades out. Damage is damage, right? Sometimes I'll have like 10 Ice Blades on the field. It's nice. But anyways, with that, got the Ice Blades. Ice Blades cooldowns reduced by blah 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 each time it hits vulnerable. Everything's always vulnerable. And I have a lot of Ice Blades out, so that reduces cooldown as well. 20% of its cooldown reductions applied to other skills. So think about that. I am flooding the field with a lot of Ice Blades, and they are reducing cooldowns of other stuff. So that works for me. Lightning Spill, our bread and butter, most of our damage. I got 5 of 5. And it spawns an additional. That's why with the Temper, when we cast Lightning Spear, we get 3 Lightning Spears and increases damage. And in my build videos, I bounce back and forth between the two. When I was going pure Crackling Energy, I had this one increase damage by Crackling Energy. But honestly, I found I was casting this so fast, I would never get a lot of stacks. So I got more out of this. This also works as damage reduction if you think about it that way. Everything you're fighting stays stunned, so it's not hitting you. And then it helps stagger bosses faster. All those stun hits increase the boss's stagger bar. And then this also plays into, when you're fighting stuff that gets stunned, it plays into the Shocking Impact. Now remember, we had the chest piece giving 3 to Shocking Impact, so that puts us at 6. That is a whopping up to 234,000 damage, like almost every time, on top of the damage Lightning Spear is doing. Because almost every hit of Lightning Spear stuns, or if it hasn't been stunned. Alright. I already talked about this Conjuration Mastery here. Damage, movement speed, mana regen for every active conjuration. And when we're fighting, you'll see my numbers somewhere between 15 and 25, depending on what all spawned. There's some RNG involved. But then, like if you get Hellborn Invigoration and reduce cooldowns with this build, I'll get up around 30. So think about that: 30 times 11, 30 times 11, or 11 plus itself 30 times. 22 times 30. Wow, that's a lot, huh? All right. That being said, and over here we got some of our damage reduction. Damage reduction is spending mana. Again, we're always spending mana, so we get this damage reduction and it stays up. That's why beginning of fights gotta be careful.
I gotta get my stacks going for stuff. Protection, always making barriers. That's what keeps us alive because we don't have a lot of life. Let's see, Inner Flames, 1 of 3 to pass. 3 of 3 because we love crit damage. I talked about crit damage. It's our primary stat across the board, critical strike damage. And we make everything burn because of the fire bolt and the enchantment. You combine our love for critical strike damage and everything burning, and we stun everything and make it crowd control, right? That is everything happening here with Devouring Blaze. Alright, this is where our crackling energy comes from. Lucky hit. Now again, if you're going with this one, you could just always take 2 points out of here because you wouldn't need this, right? 6-3 shocking impact. Invigorating Conduit, I do not need this. I have plenty of mana regen. Between Conjuration Mastery and also Enhanced Ice Armor. Between both of those, I have all the mana regen I need. And remember, my Axial Conduits are giving me 56% mana regen and max mana. Right here, so a lot of builds, they don't touch these ice things, but you do 1 of 3 to pass here, and you can get this. Increased damage to chilled and frozen. Now, while Frozen Orb is not our damage, Frozen Orb does chill. So hitting stuff with Frozen Orb, this makes a Lightning Spear deal 9% increased damage. And then whenever you freeze stuff, somehow with enough chill or a staggered boss, because a staggered boss is both chilled and frozen, you get the 18% increased damage to staggered bosses. Going down here to lightning. Okay, you could go Fiery Surge if you wanted. It's a lot of mana regen as well, but I found I don't need it. I tried it before. It was extra. I didn't need it. This Conjuration Mastery right here and the Ice Armor is all I need. I never run out of mana. Now, I know I got the triple Masterworking crit on my Conjuration Mastery, or for the necklace. If you are struggling there, you can put a few extra points right here, and that takes care of you, because everything you're fighting is burning. One reason I chose to get rid of this instead of other sources is because this doesn't help me on bosses. Unless they have trash. If they summon trash, you get some mana regen, but it's only a 3-second buff. Bosses aren't summoning trash every 3 seconds. So you have to kill a burning enemy and you get mana regen. That's very good in the Horde, in the first part, not the Council. Alright, I got 1 of 3 to advance the tree here. Alright, hitting enemies with shock skills increases crit chance, blah blah blah. I don't care, my crit chance is already 81%. On top of 81%, it's like I got Chain Lightning already getting increased chance. I mean, you start at 81%. You're going up from there. I mean, what the fuck? And then that's not even counting stuff from my glyphs, if there's anything for crit chance. Then we got another 1% every time it hits. So you're starting at 81%, then it goes 82, 3, 4, and yeah, you crit. All right, and it resets. All right, so then we have our passives. There's 2 choices here. So either you're on the cooldown train. If you're going maximum cooldown, where it's like, you got Harlequin's Crest, and you're just focused on cooldown, cooldown, cooldown across the board, where I'm more focused on attack speed, then overflowing energy gives you more cooldown, right? And it'll help you use your ultimate more. I don't use the ultimate. I already have attack speed. If you don't have attack speed, the ultimate gives you attack speed. So if you're using ultimate, you try to go more cooldown and use overflowing energy to increase the cooldown. That doesn't matter at all to me, okay? I need more damage reduction because I don't use Harlequin's Crest or Tyrael's Might. So when I critically strike something, which is always, right? I always critical strike. I get 25% damage reduction. And then I have increased single target damage. Critical strikes have a 10% chance to cause the damage to arc as lightning to another nearby enemy. Or if there are no other targets, you hit the target again for 250%. So that means I hit the council members for 250%, especially when it's just one or none or near, right? But anyways, so that's that. Going over to the Paragon tree. Mainly got my Paragon board from maxroll.gg. I did change a handful of things. I'd have to have them side by side to compare. But yeah, like I changed like five or 10 different nodes, something like that. Um, Anyways, went up to the left side here, got our first board, and we got Elementalist, right? And going throughout, we got 8 glyphs, and you're just activating the minimum to advance, pretty much. It's like the same thing I did with my Barbarian board. All right, second board, it is the Burning Instinct board, and the glyph is Tactician. Next board, we have the Enchantment Master board, and it is Unleash. Next we have Frigid Fate, and the glyph is Charged. Going left, we have Elemental Summoner, and the glyph is Conjurer. Going over, we have Ceaseless Conduit, and the glyph is Destruction. Next we have Searing Heat and Exploit. And our last board we have Static Surge and the Flame Feeder glyph. Alright, now I will take it through a tier 8 to show people what the fuss is about and what this build can do. Again, I'm primarily going Glass Cannon with attack speed, and if for some reason I die a couple times, which I'll die once or twice a day, I guess, I'll throw these on just to make sure I don't die anymore, right? Now, I'm not wearing Harlequin's Crest or Tyrell's Might, but I have damage reduction in other places. I got damage reduction from Axial Conduits and from that Veer's Mastery passive on the skill tree. And let's see. Depending on the builds, I bounce back and forth between either crit chance and crit damage or attack speed. And again, currently I have, when I dash, 80.6% and 1735. So like with crit chance and damage, that puts me 1787, and I go up to 86. That's nice. But I do like this one, attack speed, so 85 and 80. I like that. Because I like swinging the two-handed staff super fucking fast. It's amazing. Now, if I wanted to, that put me at the 85. I could change this crit chance to attack speed, and, you know, especially with a massworking crit, I get 100% attack speed on my Sorcerer. But without further ado, let's do shit. Here goes Tier 8 Horde. Hopefully we get good options for this demonstration. It's horrible whenever I try to show something on stream and it's like, you can choose between 3 masses or 3 spires. Have fun. Get fucked. Puffing the vape. And away we go. Just start fighting back here, build up my stacks, my conjurations go up there and pull them to me. Timer doesn't start till he dies. Alright, so playstyle. Currently, with the spastic movement right here, I'm holding 1, 2, and 3 constantly. I'm holding right click constantly. So I'm holding all 4 buttons down constantly, and I am left clicking everywhere you see those yellow circles. Doesn't matter how far out I click, I will move 1 step until I cast again. My attack speed is determining how far I walk. I was talking to y'all, I kind of lost track of what I'm doing in here. I need to go hit these circles, huh? Another way, instead of left clicking, there's 2 ways to stand still. I can keep doing what I'm doing and just do the force standstill. That'll also make me teleport when I left click. Because when you're left clicking around, you have to either force standstill and left click to teleport, or you have to click on a monster or something to teleport. Hey, not bad.
42 or 40. 40 is, I believe, my high for wave one. That is the third time in a few days. Oh no, this is horrible. Now, if I go Burning Rain, I'm gonna need the Harlequin's Crest because the meteors will fall on your head and you'll be dead and you don't know what the fuck happened. If I go movement speed, that means I always start with my 81% crit chance. Gorging Masses, this does absolutely nothing for us because the moment we use a flame shield or we teleport, it goes away. And our mana's fine, we don't care about it. So this is a waste. I mean, right now I look slow, right? But once I start getting some stuff going here, I'm not slow anymore. Look at that. Or watch, I'm gonna pull up my crit chance here. Look at that. I'm at 80.6. I haven't dashed yet. So just by attacking, you get your conjurations out and your crit chance goes up, right? So that means this is worthless, right? So that means it's my nemesis. Alright, you're gonna get to see me die. Let's go. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Whoop. Sometimes it seems like there's like multiple meteors on top of each other. Sometimes they'll land on me and they don't kill me. Sometimes I just vanish, like no idea what the fuck happened there. Yeah, it could have to do with having that 30% damage reduction from teleport going too. That can make a difference. Yeah, but again, I can slap on a Harlequin's Crest and pretty immortal. So yeah, if the glass cannon build's not for you, you can put on the Harlequin's Crest and you can kill tier 8 just fine. But if you want, if you're the only damage and you're carrying a 4-person group, maybe you want more damage from this glass cannon. And what it's another reason I keep these in my inventory. If I'm carrying other people, I can't run out of revives, so I got to put that on sometimes. Rewarded. That is why you take the Burning Rain. That is why I take a chance of dying. Because now I want the rest of the way out. Well, I need Hellborn hunting me, so they spawn there. Uh, Speaking of which, can I get some events? Holy shit. It's like the second wave only got 20 Aether because I didn't get hardly any events. Where was I? I lost my thought. Who? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And it's like sometimes it doesn't really give you a warning either. Those are the ones that get me. Anybody else notice there that I'm just waiting on stuff to spawn? Holy shit. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So now I got the Burning Hellborn. Now other than Hellborn hunting me, I want Surging Hellborn and Exalted Hordes. Okay, so this is not what I want. Teaming. Oh shit. I forgot. That happens. This has been a bug this patch. After the rain, and if you have rain and Burning Hellborn, Hellborn will appear with the last meteor after times run out. That will make them appear and attack you, and they don't give rewards. Alright, I already said for this build, Aether Rush is pointless. I like fighting lords, but they slow it down a lot. I want to go for points. It's good to get some +2 to Aether Fiends. 1 or 2 of these throughout. You want 1 or 2 to go with the Hellborn options, or you just go Elite all the way from start to finish, and it can be amazing. I have gotten over 1,000 Aether before going all Elites on Tier 7. Yeah, not the best run right now. So it's funny. I know I normally say a good run is feels as being in the 200s after five. Man, I had twice last night. Oh, they were on stream, I think. Where I was over 200 after four. That felt pretty good. I swear it is giving me hardly anything. All right. So I mentioned I'm really wanting Surging Hellborn. Surging Hellborn's multiplicative. This would be nice. Plus one Aether to Hellborn. It'll add up throughout the whole thing. Man, I don't think people understand how good this is. So that chance for elite doubled. I really wish it would break it down. So just from all my testing, it sounds like this chance for elite doubled. So whenever you fill up the red bar and elite spawns, you have a chance to have elites inside those red dots that appear. Or anytime red dots appear, you have a chance of having elites there. So this will increase that chance. But also, it seems to increase the chance that it's Aether Fiends instead of elites. So you have the elite size Aether Fiends. They count as elites, but they give Aether like Aether Fiends. So, yeah. I like this more than Exalted. You know what? I haven't had any Exalted Hordes for the 50%. That's making a big difference right now, too. And you see everything just pretty much dies right away. I'm pretty sturdy. I mean, I can take one hit, maybe two, but really, you don't want to get hit more than once in a row. But for some reason, these meteors are like my kryptonite. Oh yeah, and another way you can play is if you want to keep your teleport available at all times. So I can stand still, I can hold right click, I'm holding 1 and 2, and I'm pressing 3 over and over again. So I'm pressing 3 over and over again. But then I got to remember I use left click to move. So you kind of got to keep an idea of like where you park your car. So that turned out pretty good. So yeah, over in the 200s after 5, right? So I was talking about, oh, there we go, Summon Hellborn, that's what I wanted. There's another Exalted, but I want Summoned and then Surging. If I rotate Surging and Exalted Hordes the rest of the way, I'll go over 1,000. Yeah, the green explosions and fire explosions can one-shot us too. You gotta be careful of those. Other than that, the biggest thing to watch out for in the hordes is the Hydras in the council room. The Hydras in the council room, with our low life, they can get us because I mentioned you don't want to get hit more than once or twice in a row. If a Hydra pops up under you, they will shotgun blast you with all 3 of those balls at once and it can one-shot you. Just like we can shotgun blast people, they can shotgun blast us. Oh, that almost got me. You have no idea. Hmm. Unfortunately. But we do have Fiends going. That's good. I don't care about elites being unstoppable. Elites die almost as soon as they appear, so it's irrelevant. You only care about them being unstoppable if you're running for your life. So, oh geez, Flame Shield saved me there. So sorry if I'm carrying you through and you're running for your life. But yeah, I'm trying to get us points here. And again, remember the goal is to try to go around. You want to get as close to the event without going to the event all the way, right? And that's one thing that sucks about the Soul Spires, just making you go to the event and stand in it. Like if it wasn't for the Spires, I could almost do the entire horde standing right here. If it wasn't for me being such a glass cannon and having fire rain, it's another thing. Fire rain or hellfire makes you have to move a lot more. Like it's hard to stop. It's a good thing this build's all about moving, huh? Here we go. Actually doing decent. Could use a Exalted Horde though. Granted, I would take Surging Hellborn over Exalted Horde again. Just because Exalted Horde, the important thing is killing the little red dots fills up the event bar faster, right? But another fun fact is I think the thing that fills up the bar the fastest is killing events, right? Hellborn count as events. Killing Hellborn fills up the bar insanely fast. So Surging Hellborn fills up the bar fast and gives more Aether. So to me, Surging Hellborn gives a lot more spawns and Aether than Exalted Hordes. And by the way, I am a retired analyst. Not as you might think. Military intelligence. My job was saving lives. But I love numbers. Let's see. I doubt. Well, I pray I don't fight 25 masses between now and the boss. Yeah. So we're going to get us a butcher here. It'll slow the wave down a little. But my goal is I'm going to ignore the butcher. I'm saving my flame shield till he appears. I'm going to use my flame shield. And I'm going to walk around and ignore his ass. Here comes the ding. There he is. Fresh meat. I pop my flame shield. Ignore him. Looking for events to go to. And there he goes. And then I teleport to... Oh, no. Whew. There we go. God, watch out. Oh, his fire trail on top of lava got me. Damn. I was about to say watch out for his fire trail, and I didn't realize the fire trail was on top of a meteor. And that is what glass cannon is. You stop for a split second to talk about something, and poof. But yeah, if you don't like playing like that, yeah, Harlequin's Crest, I would have just got hurt instead of died. But it's fine. I like the thrill. I like the thrill, and I like doing more damage and attacking faster. Last one hurt the event some, so we're gonna cross 800. Fuck it, we'll get some lords. Why not? This is just purely for entertainment purposes. Viewer discretion advised. Don't try this at home. Yeah. So anyway, after this, I'm gonna do a horde, and I'm gonna just go all lords. I'll go damage reduction too. Nah, never mind. Essentially, I treat the lords like I treat the butcher. Unfortunately, you do get the times like this where you run out of red dots, and it's like, shit, I gotta kill the lord to get an event. And that's the times when, like, the lords are really slowing you down. Oh, I hate this lord doing this too. They need to fix this. He makes this wall, and it doesn't go away. I mean, like 30 seconds later. If you don't have a teleport, you're left running around it like a maze or something. Enough. Alright, so it was rolling smooth until I picked two things at the end that slowed it down. I always say all the time that the big targets, they slow down your waves. Because I mean your spears have to hit something, so your spears are targeting them instead of other stuff. So whether it's the butcher or lords, it'll slow down your killing speed a lot. There's the Hydras coming up. Oh, they got the fast fireballs today. Man, that's some bullshit. I get concerned about stopping too much whenever. See, look at that. Try one of those. Oh, then when it puts the red line between them. Oh, it's. I don't know if you ever seen Resident Evil. In the beginning, they're going through that hallway, and the red laser lines appear. Yeah, that's how those Hydras make me feel. I'd really like to kill Flame first, because Flame is such a pain in the ass if he's the last one. But he moves so much that usually doesn't happen. Oh, there's a big Hydra in my face. Flame likes to hide in the Hydras too. Ugh. So, yeah, that was a direct hit by the tornado. Just fucking spawned on me. So, yeah, I'm just going to go with that now. Those normally don't spawn that far outwards. They normally spawn on the inner road like the Hydras do. I normally avoid, like, the inner donut right there. Like, inner donut right here. This is where, like, the Hydra spawn. And it's also where the tornadoes like to fly. And so, by the way, this is, like, the worst triple combination you can have in here as far as your chances of dying against the council. That's pretty much for any class. Flame, Maelstrom, and Cruel. Because Cruel snares you. Maelstrom and Flame try to kill you. And then when one dies, the other gets its powers. Yeah, I would have been dead right there in the Andara's Visage. I walked right into a couple Hydra things. They just popped up, spit them in my face. No warning or protective eyelashes either. If you know, you know. If you don't know. Fun fact, eyelash extensions were created by prostitutes to protect their eyes from stuff dripping. So those wearing them as a style, they were invented to protect you while working on the job. I'm just going to hang over here and play by myself. Fuck them. Fuck them and all their deadly hydras. I don't even got to deal with him. I just stay over here and deal with myself. You know, play with my white balls over here all by my lonesome. Yep, there we go. 852, not bad. So like I said, playing with the glass cannon, if you run out of your revives, you can just slap on the Harlequin's crest and that's it. I only look for 2 and 3 stars now, especially like only 1 week left in the season. Yeah. Hey, got 109 million there. All right, well, take a short break here. It's morning, just woke up, saw someone's message asking about a build guide, and I was like, you know what, I'll make a new one. There you go. So if anybody watched, I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was helpful. I'm going to be doing a lot of these next season. I know I didn't really start doing them until the second half of this season. I didn't really start streaming at all until this season. Technically end of last season, yeah. But, yeah, I promise to do this stuff more often.